Hey, what's up everybody? It's Molly here. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm coming to you from my house. It's nice and quiet here right now, and I decided to pop in and do a quick Facebook Live because I get a lot of questions about how Kevin and I have been together for almost 27 years. Crazy, right? Because I'm like 28, right? So anyway, yeah, Kevin and I met in 1990 and we got married 6 years later or something like that. And so we've been together for almost 27 years. That's crazy, right? And so a lot of people say, how do you keep your love strong? Like, how are you guys still romantic and you like each other? And so I actually wrote out a list of 10 things, 10 ways that we keep our love strong. I wanted to share that with you. And then I want to show you something that I just found. I just found a Valentine's card that I wrote to Kevin that he kept from Valentine's Day 1991. Is this considered an antique? I mean, really, is it? I was very sappy though. Have you ever read like a love letter that you wrote when you were younger? It's like embarrassing the things I said. I'm surprised I didn't scare him away, to be honest with you. I was very in love with him, which is so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to read this to him later tonight. So anyway, I'll just tell you guys that, to be honest with you, it has not always been sunshine and roses. If I stood here and told you that, we've always been, we've always done well and we've always, everything's been just perfect, that is a lie, okay? Because marriage is hard. And when people are about to get married, I say to them, marriage is hard. I want you to know, but it is worth it. And here are some tips. Like I'm telling you, you guys, if I see a married couple, like a couple that's about to get married, I will go and talk with them, even if I don't know them. And I try to help them. I don't know, I just can't help it. But I feel like if maybe I could be that random stranger who goes and shares some tips with them. And that one of the tips that is so freaky that Kevin and I, thanks for the hearts, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Some of the things that Kevin and I recently shared, we were recently in Salt Lake City with Shalene and Michaela, like some other couples, and we were all talking about what keeps our relationship strong and how we've had successful marriages. And Kevin and I were like, oh my gosh, how did we figure this out? We got married at 23 years old. And we met when I was almost 17. So kind of crazy. So we got married at 22 years old, actually. We had Keely a year later. And at 22 years old, we were smart enough to go and get pre-marriage counseling. And I don't know if, I believe it was the church that we were getting married at. It was like a requirement. And I'm so thankful for that. I remember at the time thinking, I don't have time for this. I'm in college. I have a full-time job. How am I going to have time for marriage counseling and plan a wedding? But I'm so thankful for it because it got a lot of Kevin and I communicating our hopes, our dreams, things that were holding us back, things that scared us about marriage. And because we figured it out early, we didn't go into our marriage with like a bunch of baggage and expectations and fears. Instead, we went into it knowing that we communicated a lot of things beforehand. So if you are not married yet and you're watching me, I highly recommend, or if you have kids who are about to get married, recommend to them that they do pre-marriage counseling because I am telling you, it's a game changer. I feel so blessed. Every time I tell people that we did that at age 22, we were babies. It was such a crazy thing. So let's get down to my list. I have 10 tips. Kara is on here, Kara Mom, and she just got married. So Kara, here's some tips for you guys if you want to hear them. And even if you've been married a long time and you maybe need a couple extra tips, maybe I can help you. I don't know. But again, it's not always perfect. Kevin and I, I'm sure I annoy him. I mean, I'm really crazy. You know that, right? I'm very hyper and emotional and funny. And Kevin's very level-headed. And I think opposites attract because sometimes I'm like, babe, how do you put up with me? And he's like, how do you put up with me? But we love each other and opposites do attract, right? Tell me if you're an opposite to your spouse. I would love to hear that in comments, by the way. So here is my number one way that Kevin and I have kept our love fresh for almost 27 years, y'all. And that is this. We always date each other. Yes, he's been my husband for 21 years, but guess what? For 21 years, hi Kim, for 21 years, Kevin has been my boyfriend. I have been Kevin's girlfriend. And I know that sounds funny, but when we were dating, I tried to look cute. I tried to, be on my best behavior. I tried to show him how much I loved him and I was fun and I was spontaneous and, all that stuff. Why does that have to go away when we get married? So Kevin and I, honestly, I act like, I treat him like he's my boyfriend. We should never stop having fun with each other. Why does that have to stop even when kids come along? I have 2 kids, almost 16, almost 21. And, you know, sometimes I act like I'm 5. My kids always laugh, but I try to keep life fun. And I think that we kind of had a fear getting married that we would be like this married couple and this robotic, and we would kiss like this. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but we always laugh at that. We're like, why can't married couples be more cuddly and not, we don't want people to make out in public or anything like that. But like, you know what I'm saying? Why do we have to act like we're married now? No, have fun with each other, date each other, be cute. You didn't nag each other when you were dating, did you? I don't think so. I hope I didn't. You know, so like, why nag each other now? You know, I'm sure when I dated Kevin, I was like, hey, sweetie, can you do this? That's how we should treat each other now when we're married. We shouldn't be like, yo, husband, go do this. What's up with you? Do you know what I'm saying? So we really, not that I would talk like that, but you know what I mean. Treat each other like you did when you were dating, however long you've been married. Do you know what I mean? Number 2, show affection regularly, okay? When you were dating, you know you showed each other affection, right? You hugged, you kissed, you touched each other, you told them that you loved them and why you loved them and what you loved about them. Why does that have to stop when you get married? Show affection to your spouse. I'm telling you, men, they need, I mean, women do too, but men need affection. And I know this sounds horrible and you might think I'm horrible, but I feel like I think that sometimes you just don't want to make men try to look for affection in other places. Be affectionate to your spouse. You know what I mean? Make time to make that affection happen. You have a lock on your door, y'all, even if you have kids. I'm just keeping it real here. So, you know, lock the door, spend time together, be affectionate. Kiss him or her. First thing to start off your day. I mean, I do. We wake up and we kiss each other 27 years later being together because I have to. He's my number 1 and I hope to be his number 1. So that's really important to us, is show affection. Number 3 is show appreciation. It's easy to take for granted everything that our spouses do for us and in our lives. But show how much you appreciate them. Just a simple thank you so much for going to work every day. Thank you so much for making it possible for us to do this as a family. Thank you so much for being wonderful. Thank you so much for loving me. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for putting up with my craziness. You know, say thank you. Sometimes people just need to hear that word. Number 4, spend time alone. I kind of covered this just a second ago, but Kevin and I go on weekly date nights. Our kids now know, thanks for the hearts, our kids now know, like if we don't go out by Thursday night, they're like, aren't you guys going out on date night tonight? Like my son, Kaylee's away at college now, but our son will say to us, wait, you guys, you haven't gone, you guys gotta go. And I'll be like, you guys, Logan, you can come with us to dinner. And he'll say to me, he's like, no, you and Dad need to be alone. Go on your date night. So Kevin and I go on a date night every week and we go alone. We love going out with couples too. We'll do that on the weekends. But during the week, we go out alone, and here's one of our rules. We don't chat about kid stuff. Even when our kids were babies, we adored every single thing about them. But we didn't sit there and talk about diapers and how tired I was and how, you know, I almost cried because I had such a crazy day. You know, we didn't even do that back then. We talk about each other, and even if we just have quiet time together, but we enjoy each other's company away from regular day parenthood and life. You know what I mean? So also every 90 days, Kevin and I go on an away trip alone. And you know, we were so poor when we were first married, but we still made this happen. Even if it was, you know, at a really cheap hotel or something, just, you know, Palm Desert, or 2 hours away. We just recently went away 2 nights ago for 1 night because yes, we went away snowboarding with a bunch of people for 10 days. That was amazing, but it wasn't just him and I. So we just went away, just him and I. Why? Because having that connection time is huge. And just being alone. It's a game changer, guys. Make it happen. But you have to make it happen. That's the biggest deal, is you have to make it happen. Spending time alone is also number 4. And what that means too is talk to each other. Talk to each other. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm getting revved up here. Sorry, but I honestly had like a meltdown the other night at dinner. We're at a restaurant called Javier's, one of our favorites, and we put our phones in our purse. Kevin doesn't carry a purse, but I have a purse. So I put my phone in my purse. Kevin puts his phone away. And while we are at dinner, we do not look at our cell phones. You know, if an emergency, our kids will call, but they usually don't. But what drives me wacko is couples that go to dinner, and I'm doing this off my phone or I'd hold, but they're like this, right? The phone is here. They are not even together. There was a couple by us and they were both on their phones. And it was like, you know, a Saturday night. They're not working. Or, you know, put it away for an hour and be with your spouse. But they literally, it's like when you're alone, talk to each other. Ask about each other. Even if you spend 24/7 with each other, ask what they're feeling. You know, talk about something. So that's really, really important. But go on dates, guys. Even if you have little kids, ask grandma, ask your sisters, your brothers, ask a neighbor, ask someone to switch places with you. So this is what we would do when our kids were little, and if I didn't have grandma, or I mean, I have 8 brothers and sisters, and God bless them, they've helped us so much. But even when I didn't have somebody, I would call one of my girlfriends who had a kid the same age, and I would say, hey, Kevin and I want to go out to dinner tomorrow night. You bring your kids over, I'll watch them, and then you know, next week I'll watch your kids, you guys go on a date. And we switched, and it was awesome, especially when we didn't have any money for a babysitter. So if that's where you are right now in your season of your life, make it happen. It's vital for your marriage. Next is communicate with each other. My mom taught me this, okay? My mom is amazing, and she always said, communication is the key, Molly. It is the key. And I remember being young thinking, what is she talking about? She is wacko, right? Because that's what we think as teens. She was right. So, you know, it's like funny when you realize so many things your mom told you are right. So communicate. Kevin and I, you know, we've been together 27 years, but we have grown together. We have grown up together. We communicate. We talk about our hopes, our fears, our dreams, what's weighing heavy on our hearts. We talk about what's making us happy. We share what we're grateful for. We ask each other for advice. Kevin and I both own our own businesses, and we talk to each other all the time. I'll say, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? I'm dealing, you know, I'm stressed about this. Do you have any advice for me? We communicate, because if you hold it all inside, you become resentful. I know that because I was going there at one point in our marriage, and that was when things were bad with Kevin and I. That was when, honestly, we were like, I was thinking, am I going to be divorced? Like, we went through some tough times. So like I said, all these years, it might look like sunshine and roses. That's social media for you. We've gone through a lot of crap, but we've powered through because of these tips. So communicate with your spouse. It is so important. Number 6, I know this sounds funny and I feel like I'm lecturing now, but be open about money. You know that couples, one of the top things they fight about is money. Be open about it, communicate about it, be honest, don't hide anything, because that just leads to, you know, stress, craziness, and that actually tears couples apart. And so we haven't really had that, because that was kind of one of my fears when we came into this, and we dealt with that in pre-marriage therapy and counseling and all that. So we don't deal with that, but I know a lot of couples do. And so talk about it with each other, and you love each other, so you're gonna make it through. Number 7, you're gonna laugh at this, maybe. Number 7 is play with each other. And that was in my vows, guys. That was in my marriage vows. So if anyone watching this was at my wedding, you will remember this because everyone laughed. But in the vows, I said, we each had vows to each other, and it was, Kevin, I always promise to play with you. And everyone laughed because they thought, you know, sexual, like play or whatever. Sorry, kids, if you're watching this, my kids. But they thought it was funny like that. And it really meant be playful with each other. Have fun together, laugh together, go on adventures together, travel together, you know, and all of that. And so play with your spouse. Just because we have to adult, we have to do this whole adult thing, doesn't mean we can't stop being like kids and being curious about life and going and trying new adventures. So that's really, really important. Number 9, know your spouse or your partner's love language. If you don't have this book yet, go and get it. It's by Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Love Languages. It's a game changer. I recommended this recently to my friend Erica, who's been dating her boyfriend for a couple years, and she's like, I think I'll borrow this book. Do you mind? And I was like, borrow it. I have so many books, by the way, so if you live local, come to my house because it's a library, and I will let you borrow anything you want. But she said it like really changed her perspective, and how, you know, it's going to change her forever as a partner. And it's an amazing book, but it's really important to know what your spouse's love language is, like what speaks to them. And so maybe your spouse likes gift giving. Maybe they just like quality time. Maybe they like words of affirmation. Maybe they like acts of service, devotion, or maybe they like physical touch. But knowing what your spouse's love language is huge. It's huge. And it's really good to know that even about your children. What motivates your children? Do your children, gift giving, but quality time? Maybe your kids, they really don't want this stuff. Maybe they just want quality time with you. Maybe your kids need words of affirmation. Maybe they need to be told, well done, great job, I'm proud of you. But we're just buying them video games. Do you know what I mean? Maybe your kids need to be hugged and touched and patted on the back, and but we're doing other things for them. So knowing this book will not just help you be a better partner, but it'll help you be a better parent and a better friend even. It's so important, because knowing that about your friends is important. And then number 10, like I said, therapy. So we started off our marriage with awesome pre-marriage counseling. But what I can tell you is this: if Kevin and I ever needed counseling or therapy going forward, we would go and get it. So if you ever struggle in your relationship with your spouse, go get therapy, maybe alone and then together. But why let problems that are festering or feelings that we have about ourselves, why let that destroy a marriage and destroy a family, when maybe something hopefully can be worked out and it just needs to be talked out and figured out and all of that good stuff. I really, really recommend it. I feel like, and I learned this from Shalene years ago, and my mom has said it before too, is, we get our teeth cleaned every 6 months. Why don't we get our heads checked and like our thoughts, figured out? We pay so much attention to all the outside stuff. So I think that's really important. But go and play with your spouse. And this is funny though. So Kevin, I said, Kevin, I'm gonna do a Facebook Live sharing kind of about like what has helped our marriage for almost 27 years. And he said, hey, tell people that guys don't want cologne, guys don't want shirts. Guys just want to be hugged. They want to be told you love them. They want to spend time with you. They want to have affection. And it's not about the material stuff, but we just want to know that we are loved and that you care about us. And I thought that was huge, and I was so thankful. And now I want to close this by showing you guys something amazing. So we recently moved to like our dream home in Huntington, and as I was packing, I was like, what is that orange folder up there with all of the yearbooks? We have all of our yearbooks, right? I do too. Like, that's hilarious to look at. And what I found is this. I'm going to show you. I was like, what's this orange thing? Okay, so I opened it. I'm not joking you. This is Kevin's. And it is I wish I could show you, love letter that I wrote to him when he was away at college and when I was away at college. I have cards in here from Valentine's so many years ago, and pictures, and he has when we went to see Phantom of the Opera, he has that in here. He has a map of Magic Mountain from when we went to Magic Mountain together. He has, what else is in here? He has a really crazy photo of me from when I did some crazy photo shoot for some mall. I don't even know why I had to do that. And then he has like pictures of when we went to a dance together. Check that out. Oh, yes. He has all of this. But all of the love letters, like what? Like, that's crazy, right? I mean, these are dated 1990, 1991, 1993, 1995. He kept those. To me, that is so romantic, right? And so anyway, I wonder, tell me if you guys have stuff, if you've been dating your spouse or your partner for a long time, do you have stuff from a long time ago? Like, keep it. And I'm not sure if I want my kids to read all those right now, because I was kind of mushy. Like, I'm reading them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was really, really into him, which is so funny. So I don't know if this helped you, but maybe you can take one of these tips and, try it out in your relationship, and because it's worth it, and spend time together and just show each other that you love each other. Like, sometimes just hearing someone say that and every day say, I love you, thank you. I appreciate you. I think you're amazing. I appreciate, when Kevin tells me, I appreciate what you do for our family. Thank you for being an awesome mom. Thank you so much for taking care of me. Like all of that, I'm a words of affirmation kind of girl. Because when he tells me that, I want to cry. Because to me, those words come from his heart. That's not from a store. That's not something you can buy. That's not fake. You know what I mean? So anyway, I hope you guys have a romantic Valentine's. I hope that you're able to go on some sort of date night. Maybe not tonight because Tuesdays are tough, but make it happen. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.